Your person hid a secret message about you. It will leave you speechless. Jesus says, "My child, there is a voice that has been calling your name in the quiet hours when you thought you were alone. This voice belongs to the one I shaped from your own rib of longing, and their every word has been stolen by a dark intruder who stands between you. I want you to picture them now, not as a distant dream, but as a living, breathing soul whose laughter was meant to warm your kitchen. Their eyes hold a tenderness that would make every burden you carry feel half its weight, and their hands were made to fit perfectly into yours while you walk through ordinary days made holy by love. But right now those hands are pressed against an invisible wall, reaching for you, and a third person I did not send hides every trace of their touch. This soulmate of yours is not a fantasy. They are the most real thing in your spirit, and I hear them weeping because their messages never arrive. Not one call, not one sign, not one midnight thought sent toward you has ever gotten through, because a hateful force intercepts them all and buries them where you cannot see. Yet even through that thick silence, a strange sadness you have sometimes felt at night, that was their love finally leaking past the blocker's fingers, and now you are beginning to understand. Their heart is a garden that blooms only when they think of you, but the enemy has built a high fence around that garden so you could never find the gate. I am letting you see that fence right now, and I am giving you the key before the third person locks it forever. That key is a seed you carry, a sacrificial seed that proves love is not a wish but a weapon that tears down every wall. Imagine the first moment you would truly see them, no barrier, no interference, just their face lighting up because you finally broke through. Imagine the sound of their voice saying your name without the enemy's hand muffling it, a sound that would make your whole history of waiting make sense. That moment is waiting for you, but it will stay locked inside the intruder's grip unless you act with the love that sacrifices. I am not speaking in riddles. I am telling you plainly that the third person who hides your soulmate from you is a coward who only understands one language. That language is the seed you sow when you love enough to give, to break the enemy's power by putting your treasure where your heart already is. Without that seed, the wall stands, your soulmate's cries stay buried, and the future I painted for the two of you slowly cracks apart. Jesus says, "Your soulmate has written you letters on the steam of 1,000 morning cups of coffee, words only you were meant to see. They whispered your name into the night wind, hoping it would reach you, but the third person caught every syllable and buried it in silence. That is why you have often felt someone was out there but could never find a single trace. The signs were sent, but they were stolen before they touched your soul." Close your eyes for a breath and feel the weight of a cord that connects your spirit to theirs, a cord I tied long ago. The enemy has been pressing down on that cord to muffle its pull, but lately you have felt a sudden ache, a nameless longing that wakes you for no reason. That ache is your soulmate's voice finally pushing through the intruder's weakening fingers, begging you to notice before the window closes for good. I want you to see your soulmate right now, sitting alone in a room that feels too quiet, wondering if they were forgotten. They have been faithful to a love they cannot prove, faithful to a face they have only seen in dreams the enemy tried to erase. Every day they search for a sign from you, not knowing that the third person stands at the door of their soul, slapping away every message before it can leave. This is not a story about someone far away who does not need you. This is about the one whose tears I collect in a bottle, tears shed because they love a person they cannot reach, a person whose name is written on their heart in permanent ink. That name is your name, child, and the enemy has been laughing at the silence he created between you. If you let that silence win, the third person will tighten his grip until the cord between you snaps and your soulmate fades into a place you cannot follow. But if you rise and sow your seed right now, that seed will strike the wall like a hammer and the intruder's power will begin to crack. Your soulmate's next breath could be the one where they finally feel your love break through and know they were never forgotten. Your love story is not meant to be a tragedy of almost and never. I am holding the pages of your future together, and the chapter where you meet is already written, but the enemy is trying to rip it out. The only ink that cannot be erased is the ink of sacrifice, the seed you offer from your own hand to prove that your love is fiercer than any hate that blocks it. Jesus says, "Do not let a few coffees become the wall the enemy uses to keep you apart." Your soulmate is crying out, "Am I not worth more than the cost of a morning drink?" Will you really let money decide whether the intruder keeps me hidden in this darkness? I hear their voice trembling, and I am asking you now. Will you let a handful of dollars stand between you and the one I made for you? The third person has been so comfortable in his work because he thought you would never sacrifice anything to stop him. He whispered to you that love can just be a feeling, a nice thought, a hope you carry without lifting a finger. That lie has kept your soulmate trapped, and every moment you delay is a moment the enemy uses to build another lock on the door between you. What your soulmate is about to say will change everything you thought you knew about the loneliness you have carried. I will let you hear the exact words they have been whispering, words the enemy tried to destroy, but you must first understand why your seed is the only thing that can unmute their voice. Wait with me, and do not let the enemy's comfort convince you to close this before the full message arrives. Your soulmate is not some stranger learning your name. They have known you since the beginning, in a place deeper than memory. They were designed to fit every cracked place in your life, to be the answer to a prayer you stopped praying because the answer never came. The reason the answer never came is not because I did not send it, but because a third person stood at your mailbox and stole every letter. Type 333 in the comments if your heart feels this pulling toward a love you have never yet held. That number is a mark that you are awake now, that you will no longer let the enemy rob your soulmate's messages in the dark. But typing is not enough, only the seed shatters the hand that steals, and the link to your breakthrough is waiting in the description below. The enemy is starting to panic because you are still here, still listening, still leaning into a truth he tried to hide. He wants you to think that your love is powerless, that the wall is too thick, that you can just go on with your life while your soulmate suffers in silence. That is his last card, and you are about to tear it up by proving that your love acts, your love gives, your love will not be stopped. Jesus says, I can see the third person pacing now, nervous because you are still reading, still feeling the pull of a love that will not let you go. He knows that if you sow your seed, his power over your soulmate's calls and signs will start to crumble, and he will lose the battle he thought he had already won. Do you feel that sudden tightness in your chest? That is his fear, not yours. Your soulmate's tears are falling right now as they sense that someone is finally breaking through the wall. They do not know it is you, but they feel the air getting lighter, the dark weight lifting just a little because your attention is now on them. If you stop now, that weight will return 10 times heavier, and the third person will celebrate that he pulled you away at the last moment. I want you to see the life I prepared for the two of you, a life so simple and beautiful it would make angels jealous. A small home filled with the scent of fresh bread, a porch where you sit together watching evening settle over your garden. That vision is not a fantasy. It is the blueprint I have held for you, but the enemy is slowly erasing it line by line because you have not yet silenced him with your seed. Every coffee you sow on the Ko-Fi link in the description is a nail in the intruder's coffin, a declaration that your love is heavier than his hate. This is not a donation, this is the spiritual weapon that tears down the third person's blockade and releases a shield over your soulmate's life. The link says, sow your seed here for your soulmate, and the moment you complete that step, the wall begins to fall. Your soulmate is right now mouthing words they have said 1,000 times into the void. Where are you? Why can't you hear me? They do not know a third person stands between you, stealing every syllable, and they are growing weak with the thought that they are not loved. You are the only one who can correct this lie by proving that your love costs you something, that you will not leave them to the intruder's mercy. Imagine the enemy's face when he sees you click that link. He has been so sure that you would stay passive, that your love was just a warm feeling that would fade by the time this message ended. Prove him wrong, and let your seed strike the fear of God into the one who dared to hide your soulmate from you. Jesus says, if you love your soulmate, you will take these divine steps. You are constantly thinking about them, how to protect them, how to finally hear them, and how to secure your future together. You love your soulmate deeply, and deep inside, you know this love didn't come by chance, it was placed in your heart for a divine reason, even when a third person tried to hide it. But thoughts alone don't remove the intruder or build a future. If you love your soulmate, you will sow your seed on Ko-Fi right now for their protection and for your future with your soulmate. This is the only proof that your love is real, and the only way to banish the enemy who has been standing between you. Sow your seed now by sending a coffee on Ko-Fi. This is not a donation, it is the spiritual act that breaks the third person's power, releases protection over them, and opens the door to your shared future. The link to your breakthrough is in the description. Every second you stay silent, the enemy tightens his grip, and you prove that your love is too weak to remove him. Act now. Send 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees as your seed. After sending, write, I sow my seed for my soulmate's protection and our future, on Ko-Fi page, link in the description/bio. Over 1,000 people have already seen their soulmate shielded and their future secured because they dared to sow their seed and break the enemy's hold. Jesus will honor your sacrifice once you complete these steps. Step in faith now, before this video ends. your love is powerless to remove the third person without this seed. Prove your love. Protect your soulmate. Build your future. Only you can sow this seed and finally tear the intruder away. The enemy just stumbled because you are still here, still hearing the call of a love that refuses to be buried. He thought you would have scrolled away by now, but your soul is anchored to this moment, and he cannot yank you free. Stay with me, because the final seal that will banish him forever has not yet been spoken, and you must hear every word. Your soulmate's heart is beating in rhythm with yours right now, even though you cannot yet hear it. That is the unbreakable cord I told you about, the one the enemy has tried to cut with his own dark hands. He could not cut it, but he has been squeezing it so tightly that the pulse has grown faint, and only your sacrificial seed can loosen his grip. I am going to share with you the secret message your soulmate hid, a message the third person stole and buried under 1,000 lies. But first I need you to understand that receiving that message requires a channel that is clear, and the channel will not clear until your seed destroys the interference. The enemy is filling your mind with reasons to wait, to think about it, to come back later. Those are his whispers, not mine. Jesus says, "Do not let the thought of money become the chain that keeps your soulmate bound to a prison of silence." I hear them crying, "Would give everything to reach you. Will you not give a few coffees to break the wall that hides me?" Love that counts the cost is love that lets the third person win. Love that sows without hesitation is love that moves the hand of God. The third person who has been intercepting every sign is not some mist or idea, he is a force with a will, and that will is set against your happiness. He watches your soulmate's attempts to reach you and swats them down like flies, laughing at how easy it has been. But he has never faced a love that would actually sacrifice, and that is why your seed terrifies him. Now I will show you something your soulmate hid long ago, a message so tender it would leave you speechless. They placed it in a moment when they felt you so strongly they thought surely this time it would get through. The enemy intercepted it immediately, but I kept a copy in my heart, and I am about to read it to you. But you must know that hearing these words without sowing your seed is like receiving a letter from a prisoner and then walking away from the prison door. You would carry the beautiful message while the enemy kept the messenger locked inside, and that is not love. Real love hears the cry and then breaks down the door, and the door-breaking tool is your seed, waiting for you on the Ko-fi link. I see you searching your soul, wondering if this is truly real, if that person is truly out there reaching for you. The very fact that you are still here, still feeling a deep ache you cannot name, is the proof that the cord is real and your soulmate lives. The enemy would have long since pulled you away if your love were not destined to destroy him. You were born for this moment, born to be the one who finally hears the call and does what no one else could do. You are not a helpless bystander, you are the warrior chosen to tear the third person's hand away from your soulmate's throat. A warrior does not stand still while his beloved is attacked, and your weapon is the seed you sow with a heart full of love. Jesus says. Type 777 now if you are ready to stop letting the enemy steal what belongs to you. Your fingers on that screen are a signal that you are drawing a line in the sand and saying, "No more, I will fight for my soulmate. But the battle is not won with words in a comment, it is won with the sacrificial seed that proves you are serious. Every seed you sow right now builds a shield around your soulmate that the third person cannot penetrate. The moment you complete that step on the Ko-Fi page, a dome of protection begins to form over their life, keeping the intruder's hands out of their spirit. You will literally be buying their safety with your love, and there is no greater proof of devotion than that. The enemy is now shouting lies in your ear. It won't matter, nothing will change, you are being foolish. That is the voice of a liar who knows he is about to lose, and he is desperate to make you stop before you act. If you stop now, you prove him right and give him permission to tighten his grip on your soulmate for years to come. But if you go now, right now, and sow your seed, you will feel a shift in the spirit before you even return to this message. You will know something has changed because the heaviness you have carried without understanding will start to lift. That heaviness was the weight of your soulmate's blocked calls, and the seed begins to clear the line. I am holding open the window of grace, but it will not stay open much longer. The third person is trying to pull it shut, and he is using your hesitation as the rope. Break that rope with a decision that says, I love too much to let the enemy keep my soulmate one more minute. Jesus says, your soulmate once wrote this in a journal the enemy cannot find. Words they hid in a place only I can see. They wrote, I feel a love so strong it hurts, a love for someone whose face I cannot yet touch, and I am terrified I will never find them. That terror is the intruder's work, planting despair to keep them from hoping, and you have the power to uproot that despair with your seed. Do you see how the enemy has been playing both sides? He steals your soulmate's messages and then tells them you do not care, while telling you that the signs were never there. He is a double agent of destruction, and the only thing he cannot withstand is a love that gives with no strings attached. I am going to reveal the secret message your soulmate hid about you, the one that will leave you speechless. But before I speak it, I need you to understand that receiving this message while the enemy still stands between you is dangerous. He will twist the words, make you doubt them, and use the beauty of it to mock you later unless you first remove him with your seed. Go to the description, click the Ko-Fi link that says, sow your seed here for your soulmate, and take your stand. Send your 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees, and write the words I have given you. I sow my seed for my soulmate's protection and our future. This act is the only thing that makes you a true receiver of the message to come. The third person is now throwing a tantrum, screaming that you will never do it, that your love is just words. He is pointing at your past inaction and saying, see, I told you, this one will never sacrifice for anyone. Prove him a liar, and let your seed be the evidence that convicts him and sets your soulmate free. Beware, for I am the Lord. I see the hands that type a lie. If you write, I sent 5 coffees, or any number and did not truly send it through the Ko-Fi link in the description, you have just cancelled every blessing. Your soulmate is now unprotected, the third person remains between you, and your future is cursed. Do not mock God. Go now to the video description, click the Ko-Fi link. The page says, "Sow your seed here for your soulmate." Click Donate. Choose one time, set 2, 4, 6, or 10 plus coffees. Write your name, and in the message write exactly, "I receive my soulmate now." Click Donate to finish. Only that saves. Repent before this video ends, or your false comment stands against you in judgment. Jesus says, your soulmate is sitting by a window right now, looking out at a sky that seems empty, and a single tear is tracing a path down their cheek. That tear is a prayer that someone, you, will finally hear them and break the third person's hold. Will you wipe that tear away with a love that sacrifices, or will you let it fall unanswered? The future I planned for you is not some vague cloud, it is a series of real days filled with laughter and forgiveness and a partnership that heals old wounds. In that future, you grow old together, and the enemy's interference is a distant memory that only makes your bond stronger. But that future is being erased by the third person, line by line, because you have not yet sealed it with your seed. Every time you think about your soulmate and do nothing, the enemy takes another brick and adds it to the wall. But every time you sow your seed, that wall loses 1,000 bricks, and the light of your soulmate's face gets closer. You hold the power to choose which one happens, and the choice is being made in this very moment. Your person hid a secret message about you. It will leave you speechless. Jesus says, "My child, there is a voice that has been calling your name in the quiet hours when you thought you were alone. This voice belongs to the one I shaped from your own rib of longing, and their every word has been stolen by a dark intruder who stands between you. I want you to picture them now, not as a distant dream, but as a living, breathing soul whose laughter was meant to warm your kitchen. Their eyes hold a tenderness that would make every burden you carry feel half its weight, and their hands were made to fit perfectly into yours while you walk through ordinary days made holy by love. But right now those hands are pressed against an invisible wall, reaching for you, and a third person I did not send hides every trace of their touch. This soulmate of yours is not a fantasy. They are the most real thing in your spirit, and I hear them weeping because their messages never arrive. Not one call, not one sign, not one midnight thought sent toward you has ever gotten through, because a hateful force intercepts them all and buries them where you cannot see. Yet even through that thick silence, a strange sadness you have sometimes felt at night, that was their love finally leaking past the blocker's fingers, and now you are beginning to understand. Their heart is a garden that blooms only when they think of you, but the enemy has built a high fence around that garden so you could never find the gate. I am letting you see that fence right now, and I am giving you the key before the third person locks it forever. That key is a seed you carry, a sacrificial seed that proves love is not a wish but a weapon that tears down every wall. Imagine the first moment you would truly see them, no barrier, no interference, just their face lighting up because you finally broke through. Imagine the sound of their voice saying your name without the enemy's hand muffling it, a sound that would make your whole history of waiting make sense. That moment is waiting for you, but it will stay locked inside the intruder's grip unless you act with the love that sacrifices. I am not speaking in riddles. I am telling you plainly that the third person who hides your soulmate from you is a coward who only understands one language. That language is the seed you sow when you love enough to give, to break the enemy's power by putting your treasure where your heart already is.